Yo, j'espère que vous allez bien tout le monde. Bienvenue à la VIICTIIMINUTE du 15 octobre 2020. Ma laveuse est encore poquée, fait que je suis un peu mad. Mais, on a quand même des good news aujourd'hui pour la VIICTIIMINUTE. Burger King avait raison. Aujourd'hui, c'était le reveal du UI de la PlayStation 5. On regarde le full 12-minute vidéo qui décortique en fait tout. Ben en fait, c'est pas tant un décortiquage, là, c'est PlayStation, fait qu'il nous tease ici et là. Mais au moins, on a un aperçu de quoi que l'interface d'utilisateur de la PlayStation 5 va avoir de l'air. Également, on se regarde des previews pour Assassin's Creed. Hier, on a regardé le trailer, mais là, il y a des previews qui sont sortis. On regarde celui d'IGN, entre autres. Puis également, pendant de previews, du côté de Xbox, c'était le liftage d'embargo pour leurs previews de Xbox Series X. On a eu quelques tidbits d'informations dans les dernières semaines par rapport à ça. Mais là, c'est comme des full comprehensive previews qui ont été sortis aujourd'hui. On regarde ça de GameSpot. Puis, yeah, that's pretty much it dans les grosses nouvelles. Sinon, d'autres affaires de Spider-Man Miles Morales. Puis, je pense qu'on va en avoir davantage dans les jours qui suivent, étant donné la couverture de Game Informer. Fait que c'est ça. Fait que, yeah, laveuse est toujours poqué, man. J'ai toujours pas de laveuse ici. Le taille est long, man. Best Buy, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, don't fuck up next time. Alright, take care, everyone. Enjoy la VIICTIIMINUTE. Actualité. The ball is in Sony's court. Just fucking announce the stuff, please. Critique. En tout cas, the user score sur Metacritic est à 2.6. Rumeur. I don't know. I'm just sharing this on the internet. Discussion. C'est pas n'importe quel jeu là, c'est fucking Halo, ok? Réaction. Nintendo, what the fuck are you doing? La VIICTIIMINUTE. Avec Victim. En manchette pour la VIICTIIMINUTE du 15 octobre 2020. Ma laveuse est poquée, mais on a eu un aperçu enfin du UI, du User Interface de la PlayStation 5. Si vous étiez là au début du stream, on l'a regardé avant même la VIICTIIMINUTE parce que fucking on avait prédit, hein, Burger King l'avait prédit qu'aujourd'hui ça allait être le UI Day. On va le réécouter pour ceux qui se sont joints plus loin dans le stream. Fait que PlayStation ont tweet out à 9h04. Fait que d'après moi, c'était pas prévu. D'après moi, ils ont vu les previews de Xbox, puis en fait, ok, on release it right now. Parce que sinon, ça aurait été à 9h direct, right? Right? You'll tweet out, surprise! Watch a tour of the PS5's next generation user experience in a special episode of State of Play. Presented in 4K. Fait qu'un autre State of Play, man, en plus. J'ai pas cranké le vidéo à 4K. Let me do that this time. Il est en 1440p. Let's put it in 4K, même si ça, vous verrez pas la différence en stream, mais ça va juste être un peu plus crispy.
Hi everyone, I'm Hideaki Nishino, and I head up PlayStation's platform planning and management team, which includes product and UX design. Today, we are finally going to give you a look at the PlayStation 5 user experience. We will see some of the features that enable games to work together with the hardware and network to deliver a truly next-generation experience. Our vision for a PS5
Does it
user
come in
experience
black?
is simple. We believe that your playtime is valuable and should be meaningful. PlayStation team members from all around the world work to deliver a PS5 experience that
Tweet
is
at Best Buy
completely
right
centered
now,
on
by the
you,
way.
the player, connecting you with a great play and a passionate community of gamers. With a look and feel that's designed for 4K TVs, the PS5 user experience was built from the ground up to take advantage of the console capabilities, complementing the transformative games coming with this new generation. I should note that this video tour is from a pre-production environment on the PS5 console,
Puck
so there may
Station.
be a few small wrinkles or minor changes once the console launches in November. And now, let's check it out, courtesy of our own Sid Schumann.
Thanks, Nishino-san. Welcome to your new PlayStation 5
Ben, je vais la
console
ramener,
experience.
obviously, mais
This time,
comme
we've
je
started
vais
out
attendre qu'il
from
m'envoie une
Reston.
nouvelle
We've
avant de la
already
ramener.
created an account and signed into PlayStation Network, so let's log in.
Ça, j'aime. Tu sais, c'est pas très différent du startup de la PS4, mais comme juste le background différent, juste comme tout ça, là. Ouais, le UI, exactement, Max. Exactement. Je trouve que c'est quand même cool, tu sais, le PlayStation controller, si t'es Player 1 ou Player 2, c'est écrit en haut, Options and all that, je trouve ça quand même cool.
Rest mode. We've
Non,
already
c'est
created
official,
an
c'est
account
PlayStation
and
qui ont
signed into
tweet out.
PlayStation Network, so let's log in.
Mais comme Max l'a dit de Ringer, là, je sais pas si t'étais là quand on a regardé tantôt, là, le keyword c'est fast. Regardez à quel point c'est genre snappy puis rapide tout ce qui monte là.
Control center. From here, it's one click and we're right back into the game, but let's take a moment and look around. The control center is always one tap of the PlayStation button away.
C'est un speedrun console.
You need from the system without leaving the game. This includes things like seeing who is online, checking the status of a download, managing your controller, power, and more.
Fait comme vous pouvez voir, c'est vraiment tout sur le bottom que genre toutes les options sont là. Puis vite fait de même, il y a pas l'air d'avoir comme de nouveaux genre channel versus ce qu'on avait dans la PS4. Fait que vraisemblablement c'est la même chose, mais comme j'ai dit tantôt, je trouve que c'est nice qu'ils distinguent le UI PS4 versus PS5 parce que ça fait juste plus légitimiser comme le next generation. Tu sais, je disais comme quoi que je trouvais ça plate que de Xbox One vers Xbox Series X, c'est vraisemblablement la même chose en termes de UI, puis on va en parler plus en détail tantôt dans la VIICTIIMINUTE quand on va regarder justement l'UI de la Series X. Mais comme Babouche il l'a dit, tu sais, Microsoft, eux, ils veulent unifier leur plateforme, fait que ça a du sens que le UI soit similaire sur toutes leurs devices. Mais ouais, comme là, tout dépendamment de quel jeu que tu joues, là, il y a comme plein d'affaires, plein de cards qui appellent. Fait que ça, je trouve ça quand même fucking cool. Au début, j'étais comme, je sais pas how I feel, mais ça, c'est comme juste principal à quand tu boot up un jeu. Fait que c'est pas genre ton home screen. On va le voir plus tard, là, le home screen, là. Mais c'est comme chaque jeu a son propre genre déroulement de cards.
These colorful characters are called cards, and they let you interact with games and the
These five wins.
system in a variety of ways. First, as we've just resumed, the Control Center is showing a special card that allows me to get up to date on recent stories posted by publishers for games I am following. Another card here shows me recent media I've captured from my gameplay using the Create button on the DualSense controller. Let's check out one of the most powerful new features of the PS5 console. They're actually just to the right in this
J'attendais
row,
one
and we
pour
call
jouer à
them
Tell Me Why.
activities. Activities are part of the plan to remove barriers to
Go for it,
gameplay.
Max.
Let's get an example of one way they're used in Sackboy: A Big Adventure. With a tap of the PlayStation button, I'm back to playing the game. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is
Mais on n'a pas vu
packed with
vraiment
things to
Destruction
discover,
All-Stars in
and
action,
each
hein?
level represents one type of activity I can play, many of which I can go back to
Shut
later to
the
discover
fuck
more.
up.
I tap the PlayStation button to bring up the control center again. I can see a number of available activities, both active and suggested by the system. Let's take this first one, A Big Adventure, as an example. I can see that I haven't quite completed this level yet. I'm at 33%. Let's open it up and see more. Here I can see more information, including key objectives I haven't met. And I'm seeing a very important piece of information here. It says about 10 minutes left. This is PlayStation 5's personalized playtime estimate, giving me an idea how long it will take me to complete this activity.
Which is really cool.
Some activities even let you jump directly to that place in the game.
C'est nice, ça. Mettons que t'as un Trophy Hunter, là, pis ça te dit Complete Level Bing Bong, whatever, là. Tu cliques là-dessus, ça t'amène direct sur le Level Bing Bong, tu fais ton trophy, puis call it a day. C'est
But
nice.
There's more to see here. For another example, let's open that activity back up. It looks like I missed an objective.
Genre, il te reste 24 heures dans The Last of Us 2. Ou j'ai mal compris. Mais I guess que.
Some in-game activities,
Peut-être pour des affaires qui sont spoiler related, ça va pas être écrit, mais comme des affaires comme plus générales.
Plus members in some PS5 games. In this case, I can open up that objective to get
Ça va
some
dépendre
hints
des jeux,
without
sûrement,
resorting
Alexis,
to a
effectivement.
web search or digging through
Faut
long
que tu gardes une
videos or articles
réserve.
that might contain spoilers. This particular hint is a video, and I can play it here in the card, and I can expand it to get a bigger view without leaving the game.
Fait que wait.
Sometimes
Monk Robes Peace Location Video. Let me just rewind this real quick. C'est-tu quelque chose qui est déjà intégré ou ça mettons un vidéo YouTube qui load? Ou un vidéo de quelqu'un d'autre? I guess c'est le vidéo de quelqu'un
Game
d'autre.
Help is included as a benefit for active PlayStation Plus members in some PS5 games. In this case, I can open up that objective to get some hints without resorting to a web search or digging.
Ok, fait que c'est des affaires uniques à PS Plus. Fait que si t'es abonné à PS Plus, t'as comme un genre de mini guide qui est inclus. Huh. I mean, c'est comme si t'étais abonné à Nintendo Power, I guess.
Digging through long videos or articles that might contain spoilers. This particular hint is a video, and I can play it here in the card, and I can expand it to get a bigger view without leaving the game. Sometimes it's really useful
Si
to
t'es
be able to
abonné à
see the
PlayStation
hint on
Plus,
screen
spicy.
while you play. Some cards can be put in a picture-in-picture mode, or as shown here, a side-by-side view. Super cool. And if you pin a card, you can
Yeah, non,
access
c'est
it with
nice.
the control
Même
center
si c'est un
anywhere.
added bonus si t'es abonné
Now
à
let's go
PS Plus.
find those rascally monk robes.
Next level hand holding shit. Yeah, mais y'en a qui aiment ça être hand holded.
Thanks,
Hand
Game
holded.
The team at PlayStation
Genre,
wanted to
faut vous
make
garder en tête là que nous, l'auditoire Twitch, là, on est des. Moi, ce que je considère, on est des hardcore gamers. On s'informe sur les jeux. On connaît comme les grosses sorties, mais il y en a là que littéralement là, sont à chier dans les jeux vidéo pis que comme ils savent pas comment battre style le first level dans Super Mario Brothers là. Fait qu'ils soient hand-holdés, ça leur est bénéfique. Alexis, c'est un hardcore gamer, sure. C'est moi la vidéo à 30 FPS.
really easy to chat with your friends on the
I mean, je l'ai
PlayStation
mis à 4K,
So
fait que
let's check
si
out
je le
how it
drop à 1080, peut-être ça va l'air moins saccadé.
Here, I'm opening an interactive notification with a tap of the PlayStation button, and I've decided to join the voice chat that my friend just entered. Now, my friend could have done this on the PlayStation app for mobile devices, from a PS4, or in this case, from a
Contribuer à
PS5.
autant l'industrie, si c'était juste notre petite communauté de hardcore fans, ça serait encore niche le gaming.
So I can
Yeah.
start talking right away. But I always have the ability to hit
The
the mute
Master
button on the
Sword.
controller or in the menus.
Ça a-tu l'air plus fluide là?
Parties take on an expanded
Attention,
role with
qu'est-ce que tu vas dire?
PS5, and they now provide
Towards.
persistent spaces
Tu
to
magasines un
connect
petit time-out là,
and
du
play with.
Zelda Slander
Here I have
là.
a couple of
You
friends
can't do that
chatting away in the
shitty
party.
over here.
One of them has started sharing their screen with the group. Looks like they're playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. We can chat while we play, and I can watch his progress as well. This is another card that can be put in picture-in-picture mode.
Yeah, checkez ça quand c'est nice. Puis tu peux le modifier dans
You can
l'écran.
access it anytime via the control center too, but let's dismiss it for now.
C'est correct que t'aimes pas Zelda, mais de là à dire que c'est de la merde,
Okay,
là,
let's
ça c'est
review. So
un.
far, we've seen how
un commentaire
activities on
ignorant.
PS5 will make it easier and faster to
mode,
hop back
yeah.
into PS5 games, and how you can get in-game help and chat with your friends. So that leaves online multiplayer gaming. Let's check it out. I see that some of my friends are online, so it's time to say goodbye to
Ah, mais tu sais,
Sackboy
c'est un
for
nice
now
feature à
and
avoir, même
spin
si
up a
tu
match of
l'utilises pas, là.
Destruction All-Stars. One
Mais
of my
checkez
friends in
ça.
the party has already started a match, and we can join them from this card in Control Center. And there we go. Destruction All-Stars now quickly starts thanks to PS5's ultra high-speed SSD.
High speed SSD.
Okay, I think we've got enough people on our party, so let's jump in. We're keeping the focus on PS5's
Hey, le
user
load a
experience
duré
today,
3
so let's
secondes.
zip ahead so we can see more. And just like that, we're in. We don't have time to play a full match today, but I
Mais
do
c'est ça que je
think we
disais,
have time to take a
gentlemen.
quick photo.
Je suis sur Xbox One, ça avait le picture-in-picture, ou comment ça s'appelle, Xbox Snap. Fait que des fois, quand je me rappelle quand je jouais à Guacamelee, à un moment donné, j'écoutais l'International, le tournoi de Dota. Mais c'était pas autant clean que ça a de l'air. Parce que t'avais comme une white bar qui séparait les deux. Là, c'est vraiment comme beaucoup plus clean. Puis tu peux justement décider où tu le mets dans ton écran. Là. Fait que.
Photo. To do that, I'll just tap the create
Fais,
button
pose
on
pas
the
ça. Hey, je
DualSense.
m'en calisse de ce jeu-là.
PS5 is always capturing recent gameplay. But when you compose a shot, even using in-game photo mode, you can capture a high-quality screenshot here. This optimizes capturing the moment, letting you review and choose to share later on. I should mention, screenshots and video can be captured at up to 4K on the PS5 console.
Dédommagement Best
So far,
Buy.
we've shown off how to jump into activities,
Ça va être un
how to chat
fucking
with your
meme, ça.
friends,
Le
get into
dédommagement de
groups
Best
together
Buy.
to play, capturing gameplay, all of that while in-game. But what if I want to play a different game?
Ah, Max est vendu intense sur.
Welcome to the PlayStation 5 home screen.
Et voilà, comme on peut voir, le home screen. Ce que j'aime vraiment du home screen, c'est que chaque genre app, parce que là, ça rend l'air des applications individuelles, c'est qu'il y a genre comme un wallpaper en background. Puis, tu sais, sur PS5, chaque jeu avait comme son hub, mais là, c'est comme vraiment plus défini que chaque jeu a comme sa page dédiée. Fait que c'est nice.
This is where you'll land when you start up from a powered off state, and where you'll go when you want to choose a new game to play or download.
PS5 wins.
The layout of the space is designed to present games and game content beautifully on a 4K display, with simple and super fast access to what you need. And in case you're wondering, media-related apps will have their own space like this one, but today we're focused on gaming. Each game has its own hub completely integrated, so all you need to do is scroll down to see activities you can jump right into. Video clips, stories about the game, DLC, and more. Backward-compatible PS4 titles will benefit from some of these features too. Let's move one spot to the left and check out Explore, which brings together all your...
Vraiment plus clean, ce genre de comme General Info tab. Sur PS4, là, genre, j'ai jamais utilisé comme le Explore page. Tu sais, où est-ce que ça a montré comme tous les fils d'actualité de tes amis, whatever, là. Jamais utilisé ça. Mais là, c'est. Parce que de 1, c'était ugly as fuck à naviguer. C'était horrible. Là, c'est vraiment plus clean. On dirait genre. Tu sais, là, quand tu ouvres YouTube sur ta Smart TV, là, ça ressemble exactement à ça. C'est vraiment plus clean et simple. I love it.
Your games. We saw a view of this from the Control Center earlier, and another view will also be in the new PlayStation app for mobile devices. Explore keeps you in the loop with official stories from PlayStation and from all the games you're following, including trending media from the community. We'll be testing and learning about this feature in the US at launch, so not everyone will have this on day one, but it gives you a good idea of the direction.
Hey, ma laveuse est bossée! Tu vois, c'est une PlayStation
Store for
Explore.
PS5. It's completely integrated into the system. It's not a standalone app anymore.
Qu'est-ce qu'ils veulent dire par ça? Que le PlayStation Store est intégré et que ce n'est pas un standalone app. Ça veut-tu dire que comme le loading est plus rapide? Parce que, me semble, moi, quand il est dans le menu. Ok, fait que c'est genre instantly. Ben, c'est ça, moi, j'étais comme, mais quand j'ai acheté un PS4 et le PlayStation Store, il fallait pas que je le download, là. Ça me fait chier d'accrocher le store à chaque fois. On peut-tu mettre la PS5 sur le côté? Oui, tu peux, Tord.
Browsing for new games to play will be easier.
Mais c'est parce qu'il le montre pas dans la vidéo, fait que comme c'est pas clair.
Experience. And here, you'll be able to browse the latest games and deals. You'll find PS5 games and many backward-compatible PS4 games too. I'm sad to say, but we are almost out of time. So let's pull up Control Center one more time with a tap of the PlayStation button. On our way out, why don't we quickly share that
vidéo
photo we took
officielle
in Construction
GM.
All-Stars. We can find recently captured media in this handy card in Control Center. From here, we can do some quick
T'es
edits, but I
vraiment
think
pas un
I'm
bon
ready to
ami.
share it right now. On PlayStation 5, I have the option to
Le gars,
share
il est
videos and
contractuellement
images to supported
obligé de
external
rien
services,
dire.
or I can send them directly to one of my parties. Remember, parties are bigger than just voice chat now, so I'll select one of my favorite parties here. Let's attach a quick message here. The DualSense controller makes this really easy. PlayStation 5 supports voice dictation in a number of languages, so you no longer have to type messages with the keyboard if you don't want to. Simply select the microphone.
Hey, hein? S'il y a bien une affaire qui est chiant, c'ti, c'est écrire avec une manette. C'est pas comme ton smartphone que littéralement ton keyboard est à la portée de tes doigts. Non, là, faut que tu prennes ta manette, tu fasses OK, A, B, C. Là, tu peux dire, admettons, go fuck yourself. Puis ça va le détecter. Peut-être pas, là. Parce que, justement, il y a un report comme quoi que le PS5 ou la controller peut, genre, comme, modérer ce que tu dis.
Phone button. Here's a cool detail. If my friend hasn't yet played the activity where I captured this media, and the game's developer thinks that activity might contain spoilers, they'll receive a warning before they view it. Well, that's it for our demo. There are many more exciting features we couldn't get to today, but we're super excited to share more of the PlayStation 5
comment c'est cool.
user experience with you in the coming weeks headed to launch. And of course, this is
J'adore
just the
ça.
first look at what fans can expect on day one. The team at PlayStation is
J'adore le fait que
committed
tu vois
to
la
evolving this
console dans
experience with our community in the months ahead.
le genre, le
We
closing
look forward to
screen.
sharing more. Thanks for watching.
Genre, ce screen-là, là, je trouve que c'est cool.
The coming weeks headed to launch.
Genre, tu vois un PSG de la...
And of
Pas
course,
juste
this
ça,
is
le
just
fait
the
que
first
ça
look at what
ça
fans can
flash pis
expect on
tout.
day one. The team at PlayStation is
Does it come in
committed to
black?
evolving
Not
this
yet.
experience
Maybe
with
down
our
the road.
community in the months ahead. We look forward to sharing more. Thanks for watching.
Je vais juste regarder ta console. Ouais, mais c'est nice de le voir dans en tout cas. Alright, poursuivons avec plus de couverture sur de Spider-Man Miles Morales, excusez. Comme vous le savez, Game Informer ont comme un gros... C'est genre leur preview month de Spider-Man Miles Morales. Le jeu est mis en vedette sur le cover de leur magazine. Puis hier, ça a été revealed que tu peux avoir un cat companion, un petit chat qui se promène avec toi dans ton sac à dos. Hey, arrêtez qu'il va être Miles Morales. Check ça comment c'est cute. A little cat.
Yankee said the app's blowing up. City
And we get some
definitely needs
sweet
a
gameplay as well.
Should patrol for a while. Looks like Teo's bodega was robbed. Hope I can help.
Are you sure this isn't 1080p? Because that looks like shit, dog.
Should probably call Genki when I get there.
C'est pas crisp du tout. C'est tout ce qui manquait pour avoir un jeu parfait.
There's my way in.
Un minu spider, un companion. Ah man, ce jeu-là va tellement être nice.
Now for the breaker. For real this time. Let's get out of here, Spider-Man.
Il l'appelle Spider-Man.
Hey man, power restored. Bank
C'est qu'est-ce que
high stock.
what?
Spider-Man the
Wait,
cat
hang on. The power of the SSD, chat.
said. Power
The power of the SSD. T'es dans une usine, bam, in the open world already.
Spider-Man the cat saved.
All in a day's great work. Maybe we can get leads on who we're dealing with. Call you soon.
C'est quoi? It does look like shit.
Teo, got a surprise for you.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Ben ouais, mais c'est normal, là, Chup.
Did you have an adventure?
Ok, le chat s'appelle vraiment Spider-Man. Ben oui,
You almost gave Daddy
Spider-Man.
a heart attack. Oh yes, you did. Oh yes, you did. Good work, other Spider-Man. Thanks.
Yeah. Of course. You ready to swing, Spider-Cat?
You two look great.
Ben voyons donc, c'est donc ben nice.
Surprise, you two.
Avec son petit chapeau. Il peut t'aider in combat, dude. Avez-vous vu ça? Did y'all see that? Did y'all catch that? Look at this. Look at the little kitty cat. Il y a des fucking moves. Ben non. Il crisse une shot. That is cool. That is cool. Ok, Game of the Year right there. Ha! Your move now, Xbox. Avez-vous un jeu? Tu sais, est-ce que Master Chief, il y a un pet fucking. I don't know, a pet dog? No. That's what you're missing out on. On a également un autre gameplay vidéo de Miles Morales. Juste ici, gracieuseté de Game Informer. Celui-là est un peu plus crisp. Hang on, je peux-tu écrire ça en 4K? I can. Sweet. Checkez ça comment il swing, c'est bien hot. C'est différent de Peter Parker. Il y a un swinging style différent.
Police aren't taking any chances, especially not with our guest of honor.
Getting a lot of interference here.
One of those guys who helped Doc Ock is in there?
Think so. Could be Vulture, could be Scorpion.
Non, je le sais, Max, mais comme, tu sais, c'est des petits détails comme ça qui font en sorte que le jeu, genre, il stand out plus. C'est fucking Miles Morales!
One bigger. Okay, we got a problem. Pull back, Miles. Let me take.
I got this, Pete. Don't worry.
Oh, no!
It's secure.
You're drifting Helix 2.
Ah, you little rookie.
Weight imbalance. Correction 236. Rudder's unresponsive.
There you have it. Assassin's Creed maintenant. Assassin's Creed, hier, on a debunk comme quoi que Ubisoft, Yves, je sais pas qu'est-ce que Yves il est comme release ce trailer d'il y a 10 ans pour Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Release the trailer of the newest build, please. Puis on a debunk comme quoi que il y a 2 Assassin's Creed qui ont été montrés au cours du dernier mois. Puis le dernier trailer de Assassin's Creed Valhalla qui a été publié hier, vraiment genre embellit le overall package que Assassin's Creed Valhalla est. Puis là en plus, on a un aperçu sur les side quests. IGN ont posté un preview des side quests. Fait que là, let's see. Let's see. Let me crank this shit up. Ah, je peux pas aller plus que 1080p.
The last time Assassin's
Let's see
Creed
your
broke
shit.
from its yearly release schedule, we got Assassin's Creed Origins, a game
Ouais,
that
Burnout,
fundamentally changed the direction of the series from an open-world stealth
J'entends beaucoup
action
parler.
adventure to a full-blown open-world RPG that rivals the scope of
C'est
games
ça la
like The
victime
Witcher,
de
Red Dead Redemption
DJ
2,
Burnout.
and so on.
Des tabs à
Assassin's
l'infini.
Creed Valhalla represents only the 3rd time Ubisoft has taken a year off in the 13-year history of the series.
Travaille sur
And while it doesn't
Valhalla,
upend the series the way that
pas humain.
Origins did, my main takeaway from spending 6 hands-on hours with it is that Valhalla is significantly more ambitious and daringly different from its predecessors than one might initially think.
I'm the greatest of flighters, a master of verse.
Your pride is appalling, and your rhyming is worse.
Got you there, young Earth.
Assassin's Creed
On dirait un
Valhalla's
beau Breath of
biggest
the Wild.
departure from previous Assassin's Creed games is that traditional side quests are no more. You won't travel to a new area, talk to everyone with a marker over their head, and then just be loaded up with 20 different mini storylines to keep track of at any given time. But this doesn't mean that Valhalla's scope or scale is diminished.
À quand
There are
Assassin's Creed
still a ton of
Saint-Jérôme?
side activities, just
Oh,
not
fais juste
in the way
pointer
that
à
you might
Assassin's
expect. Instead, when you
Saint-Jérôme,
synchronize a new
puis
part of the map, you'll discover a bunch
joue-les
of dots
toi-même.
colored yellow, blue, or white that pinpoint those activities. The yellow dots correspond to a side activity that will reward you with some sort of tangible item, some gold, a
L'église
piece
au
of gear,
centre-ville.
or a book of knowledge that either teaches or upgrades a skill. The larger the dot on the map, the more substantial the challenge and the greater the reward. A large yellow dot, for instance, might correspond to a heavily guarded fortress with multiple large chests, while a smaller yellow dot might represent a single chest hidden
Ça va être
behind
le
a
contraire,
minor
ouais,
rock or
mais oh.
puzzle. White dots represent
Café mon dos.
artifacts, which are traditional collectible scavenger hunts. Follow a white dot on the map and you
Mais
might find a
de
hidden
un, visuellement, le jeu a pas l'air. Tu sais, comme le trailer qu'on a vu hier était plus beau visuellement, là, c'est, I guess, c'est IGN, là, leur vidéo quality est vraiment pas bon, là.
an artifact that you can take back to your settlement and trade with a vendor, or you might complete a quick
C'est le
parkour
final
challenge
place.
and find a new
Ces
tattoo
consoles-là
that you
aussi.
can use to customize your character.
Ça fait
Finally, the
confirm.
blue dots correspond to world events. And here's where you'll find the closest things to traditional side quests.
World events are incredibly varied and could be anything. A quick minigame involving stacking cairn stones, a short encounter with an often unusual NPC.
Mais non, tu sais, t'as LT puis RT.
Another one.
Fait que c'est peut-être... C'est soit que c'est joué on PC avec une manette de Xbox, ou c'est joué sur Xbox. Ça Switch, ok, peut-être c'est plusieurs consoles. Merci SchemaOS pour le follow.
Let's pause for a moment and go back to the word unusual. Because one other huge departure from other Assassin's Creed games is that these world events are, more often than not, hilariously bizarre. In one event, I had to collect a bunch of viper eggs for a maniacal lady who presumably wanted to eat them just so she can unleash a nasty fart for the people above ground to suffer through.
Quoi? C'est quoi ça? What the fuck? Nice.
I knew I would regret this.
In another, I protected a lady locked in a tower who gets her kicks by pretending to be in trouble and having people save her. And in another still, I ate some hallucinogenic mushrooms and found myself in a field with seals, watching them direct me through magical doorways in a specific sequence.
What?
When asked about this change in tone, lead quest designer Philip Bergeron told me that you need peaks and valleys when you're telling a story in order to appreciate the stronger human stories, and that by positioning world events in this way, it gave the developers opportunities to deal with other subjects. He said that when you're dealing with warfare and the politics that come with the Viking Age, it gets somber very quickly. So, the world events are a way to help lighten the mood from time to time and have a few beams of sunshine here and there. And true enough, I found myself giggling way more often than I typically would while playing an Assassin's Creed game. One other upside to this change is that it makes exploration much more natural and less overwhelming. There's no longer a massive backlog of side quests to complete, so you can just explore at your leisure and complete these world events as you come across them. Bergeron said that early on, one of the things that they wanted to do was have a clear differentiator between earlier games with the same formula. So instead of having something that felt like a checklist of things to do, they put things in broader buckets that keep the air of mystery where you don't precisely know what you're going for. It was also important to remove the idea that you were grinding the map by having the same sort of repeating activities. What's nice too is that this pivot allows Ubisoft to devote more effort into Valhalla's main quest.
C'était quoi
I was told that
What the fuck was that?
What's nice too is that this pivot allows Ubisoft to devote more effort into Valhalla's
what did we just saw here?
Main quest. I was told that the team took the budget that they typically
C'est un work in progress. Je vais donner le bénéfice du doute, but that was weird.
That the main content had richer, deeper stories, so that anytime you commit to any given territory, you'll get a complete self-contained story that has its place in the greater scheme of things.
T'es con. Delete.
Another one of Valhalla's departures from the series is the fact that your bird will no longer spot enemies for you. In prior games, it could be used to scout an entire encampment, revealing the locations of enemies all throughout, even allowing you to see them through walls. It was a tactic that Bergeron described as an almost press the button to win kind of scenario. This time around, the team wants to create a more cohesive synergy between you and your bird. In Valhalla, your raven can get you an overhead view of an enemy encampment and scout out potential entrances and areas of interest, sure. But in order to get a feel for where enemies are, you'll need to be physically near the area.
Okay.
Once you're close to an area where you suspect enemies, you can click the right stick in and activate your Odin sight, Valhalla's take on Eagle Vision, to highlight all enemies in a circle around you. And, of course, one of the most talked about features in Valhalla is the return of the iconic Hidden Blade, which can once again instantly kill most, but not all, unsuspecting foes. With all of these pieces working together, along with Eivor's bow that can be powered up with a multitude of skills, there's no shortage of stealth tools in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Once blades start clashing, things are pretty familiar, though there are a few very notable differences in combat. For one, each character has both a stun bar and a health bar, and you can choose to go after either one by tailoring your combat style.
Ok, je vais lire le commentaire d'Alexis Bros. Ça, c'est pour le monde qui écoute la VIICTIIMINUTE en audio version. Je sais pourquoi j'aime Assassin's Creed, parce que c'est comme remettre des pantoufles l'hiver. Tu sais qu'ils vont bien fitter. Aïe aïe.
By going for counters, and you'll chip away at the enemy's stun bar, which allows you to execute a powerful finishing move for huge damage that can kill an enemy outright. or just take a more traditional approach by just swinging your weapon at whatever moves, and you'll hack away at an enemy's health bar. But there is a wide variety of special enemy types, each with unique behaviors and attack patterns, so you'll have to tailor your combat based on the enemy you're fighting. One other big change in Valhalla is how it handles loot. In Origins and Odyssey, you were essentially showered with loot from beginning to end. That's changing in Valhalla, as Ubisoft adopts a more quality over quantity approach to your hard-earned spoils. One of the goals of the dev team from the get-go was to have the player appreciate their inventory a bit more. So they opted for a collection system where there's a narrower range of different gear and weapons, but you can invest in and upgrade them, allowing you to find and invest in the playstyle that fits you.
Home sweet home. Ce que tu dis, Alexis.
At its core, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is about a crew of Vikings trying to make a new home for themselves on a foreign land. And with that comes your settlement. This is a home base that you will frequently return to in order to pick up new quests in the main storyline, talk with important characters, upgrade your gear, and upgrade the various structures of the settlement itself to provide your character with better buffs and persistent perks. What's nice about the settlement is that everything you need to do in the open world kind of feeds back into it. You see the progression of your settlement mirrored in your own personal progression. When you raid a town and collect gold and supplies, those supplies can be used to improve your settlement and make it feel more like your own personal home. Admittedly, it's hard to see just how deep the development of your settlement can be after only 6 hours, but it's nonetheless a nice change to have all the vendors you need centralized in one place, rather than having to scour the map to find the nearest blacksmith. Ultimately, I ended my hands-on experience with Assassin's Creed Valhalla very hopeful. I really dig the large high-level changes that Ubisoft is making, and the reasoning behind each of them makes a ton of sense.
Je pense que c'est genre le 10e,
problems with enemy AI and general bugginess in the combat that I'd like to see cleaned up before launch, but above
Wait, attends, c'est quoi qu'elle dit? General bugginess in the combat? Uh-oh.
Very hopeful. I really dig the large high-level changes that Ubisoft is making, and the reasoning behind each of them makes a ton of sense. There are still a few problems with enemy AI and general bugginess in the combat that I'd like to see cleaned up before launch, but above all else, my 6 hours of playtime made me breathe a sigh of relief. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is absolutely not just a retread of ground covered by Origins and Odyssey. It's an exciting departure from what's already been done. For more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, make sure to check out our gameplay clips.
Ouais, what the fuck, la cape est
keep it here on IGN.
C'est quoi ça, tabarnak?
What's already been done.
C'est que ça?
For more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, make sure to check out our gameplay clips, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
Fuck my shields. This is weird. I mean, toutes les Je vais donner le bénéfice du doute au fait que c'était previewed sur Xbox Series X et non PC. C'est un early build, clairement. Ben, tu sais, c'est des affaires qu'ils peuvent faire comme hey, no one gives a fuck, on laisse ça de même là, dans le full build. Xbox Series X previews, comme vous le savez, les membres de la presse ont eu leur press Xbox Series X. Puis là, aujourd'hui, c'est le final preview. Fait que là, ils parlent de performance, espace de stockage, SSD, UI et plus. J'ai le preview de GameSpot. On va checker après ça si IGN de leur côté ils ont un preview. Vu que IGN c'est the
If you
website.
watched my first Xbox Series X preview, I covered backwards compatibility and performance, load times, and quick resume, and I have a few more details on that. But I have a lot more to discuss now, including Series X specific games and enhancements.
Can I?
External storage options and how well they work, and more on the overall next-gen experience. Keep in mind that this is not a review, rather a more detailed look at our Series X preview units. So, let's kick things off with talking about some real next-gen games. I've had access to early builds of a few Series X specific games such as Yakuza Like a Dragon and Dirt 5, and the Series X optimized versions of Gears Tactics and Gears 5. As a big-time Yakuza fan, Like a Dragon is one of my most anticipated games of the year, and this demo filled me with so much joy and excitement. But instead of waxing poetic about how lovely and wild it is, let's look at its next-gen performance. You get 3 enhancement options here. High resolution gives you full native 4K resolution but runs around 30 FPS. Normal gives you 1440p resolution with a consistent 60 FPS. High frame rate does 1080p also at 60 FPS, but negates potential frame drops if they come up. I mostly play on normal and didn't think twice about switching because for me, it's the best balance. It looks great and maintains high FPS, so there's really no need to drop the visual quality further for the high frame rate mode. Like a Dragon's Yokohama is a wonderfully detailed setting and the best use of the Yakuza series' Dragon engine, which was used in Kiwami 2, Yakuza 6, and Judgment. It looks and runs great.
On s'est tout pitché, yeah. J'étais à la job puis je me suis pitché.
Dirt 5 also presents 3 enhancement options.
Devant mes
Image
jeunes,
quality
didn't give a fuck.
for full 4K while using
PS5!
dynamic resolution to try to maintain 60 FPS. But it seemed to me that there were some frame drops when particle effects kicked up while a bunch of cars were on screen. Frame rate mode also uses dynamic resolution but lacks some visual flair, reducing effects like shadow quality to maintain a more consistent 60 FPS. If you have a 120Hz display and set the system output to 120Hz, Dirt 5 will offer the 120Hz option. As a PC gamer who's been on high refresh rate monitors for quite some time, it's a real treat to see a console game hit 120 FPS. Sure, the graphical quality takes a hit, but in return the game moves buttery smooth. The visual compromises are quite apparent to me, but I wouldn't say it makes the game look bad. Overall though, I do feel image quality is the best option here. Both Yakuza Like a Dragon and Dirt 5 are cross-gen games, so while they might not blow you away with the next-gen wow factor, there are measures.
C'est kinda sad que les deux jeux qui ont pu juste preview, c'est Dirt 5 puis Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Measurable graphical improvements over what we'd expect from the Xbox One X.
Coverage de Valhalla. T'as-tu fait une autre vidéo?
With Gears Tactics, it keeps things simple. On the Xbox Series X,
On va
the
le
game
regarder
runs at
après
4K,
le preview.
60
Max.
FPS. No options or compromises necessary. This is in contrast to the Xbox One X, where you have the option for 4K 30 FPS with quality mode and 1440p 60 FPS with performance mode. The bump in frame rate is nice, but this being a turn-based strategy game doesn't have that much of an effect on the experience. Certainly not as much as it would on a racing game such as Dirt 5 or a shooter like Gears 5. So with Gears 5, you get a new option with the Xbox Series X, 120 FPS in multiplayer. Of course, this only matters if your display can do 120Hz, 4K or otherwise, and from what I can tell, the jump in frame rate is a great touch.
Première fois qu'un Gears... actually, c'est pas vrai parce que là, c'est
affect the
PC.
single-player campaign, though it will run a dynamic 4K at 60 FPS, like the One X, but with a few perks like improved anisotropic filtering and more consistent performance and image quality due to the stronger hardware. Performance in backwards compatible games really depends on how they're built, what their technical limitations are, and whether or not they've been updated with Series X optimizations.
Yeah, fuck.
I mentioned this in my first preview that Final Fantasy 15, for example, runs at a much more consistent FPS on Series X when set to its performance mode, whereas on the One X, you'll experience some noticeable frame drops. However, using the higher quality mode still caps the game at 30 FPS on both systems, since the game is built with that frame cap when running high fidelity modes.
Pour vrai, mais mais c'est bizarre. Moi, quand j'ai appelé, ils m'ont dit de me pointer en magasin. Yeah, on l'a regardé 2 fois même.
Or maintain it more consistently than the Xbox One, as made evident in games such as Monster Hunter World, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, No Man's Sky, and plenty more. But a game like The Outer Worlds, which caps at 30 FPS and doesn't have graphics options, will still run at 30 FPS on either system. More recently, I cracked into Doom Eternal. The game maintains consistent performance with 60 FPS, but runs a dynamic resolution that maxes out at 1800p on the Xbox One X, and turns it down when things get hectic. On the Xbox Series X, it's able to keep resolution at or closer to 1800p since the hardware is powerful enough to do this.
Je sais pas, la dernière fois, Méo, ce qu'il avait dit, j'avais appelé, il m'avait donné un code de référence, il m'avait dit pointez-vous en magasin. Puis rien que je peux faire, je peux pas contacter. C'est complètement stupide.
So in short, if a game uses dynamic resolution or allows higher FPS, you'll get improvements by virtue of the more powerful Series X hardware, even if there aren't Series X optimizations. If a game is bound by certain technical limitations, such as a 30 FPS cap or a fixed resolution, the game will have to adhere to that accordingly. It just depends on how the game is built. Of course, it's possible that some games could also get updates for Series X optimizations in the future, so keep in mind that these conditions can change. One such case is Destiny 2, which caps at 30 FPS for now, but will improve to 60 FPS when its next-gen update rolls around. Load times are one of the biggest improvements you get with the Xbox Series X.
Anyway,
the console really leverages that solid-state drive, as you'll see in our results. So this is where you get that practical benefit that permeates the entire experience. We previously used 4 games to test load time improvements, and to quickly summarize, we got the following results on One X and Series X when loading a save from the title screen.
Ouais, mais oh, comment tu veux genre ship esti une laveuse? Je l'ai juste refusé. Et...
Dead Redemption
Va
2
je fais à la
went from 2
anyway,
minutes
c'est
and
à
8
boîte
seconds
un
down to
label.
38 seconds. Control went from 58 seconds to 10 seconds. Final Fantasy 15 went from 1 minute and 11 seconds to 13 seconds.
Quand même.
And The Outer Worlds went from 43 seconds to 11 seconds. We did a similar comparison with Gears 5 and Gears Tactics, both of which are cross-gen games with Series X optimizations. Gears 5 went from 28 seconds on the One X to just 5 seconds on the Series X to load into Act 1 Mission 3. And Gears Tactics improved greatly as well, going from 52 seconds to 18 seconds to load into a mission. When it comes to ongoing multiplayer games you're constantly going back to, you'll definitely be saving some time. Take Destiny 2 in its current state, for example. On 1X, getting from sign-in to character select took 1 minute and 34 seconds, and loading from orbit to the Troslan EDZ took 1 minute and 12 seconds. On the Series X, the game took about 18 seconds and 21 seconds for those respective scenarios. While Yakuza Like a Dragon and Dirt 5 will be available on Xbox One, we didn't have access to those versions for this preview. But to give you an idea of what to expect on Series X, loading a save in Yakuza took just 6 seconds, and hopping into career mode race in Dirt 5 took about 12 seconds.
Tokyo
the time you
Hotel
save
game.
adds up in both
Wow.
games since you're frequently loading into different scenarios and scenes in Yakuza and
Stem
entering
evil
races in Dirt
Mr.
5.
Tokyo
After having spent a
Hotel,
bunch
wow.
of time on the Xbox Series X, the differences are night
Van
and day,
Man au
which makes it hard to
secondaire.
go back to the hard drives of old on Xbox One and PS.
Est-ce que quand vous étiez au secondaire, là, ceux qui ont dans mon range d'âge, il y avait comme la clique du secondaire qui tripait Tokyo Hotel, puis tout le monde les jugeait parce que calice que Tokyo Hotel c'était pourri. Puis moi, je sais qu'il y avait cette gang de clics. Il y avait cette clique-là de filles qui tripaient Tokyo Hotel, qui avaient des chandails Tokyo Hotel. Puis là, on était comme arc! Voir vous écouter ça, c'est pourri.
PS4. The Xbox Series X comes with a 1TB internal SSD, which actually comes out
Tout le
to
monde tripait sur le
802
chanteur, trouvait
gigabytes
qu'il
of
était
free
beau,
storage you
whatever.
get to use. And with the size of games today, that might fill up fast. So you have a few options in terms of how you can bulk up your storage. Now there are some important details that you'll need to consider. So first, let's start with the 1TB Seagate SSD that slots right into the console. This is technically the best solution since it's identical to the internal SSD. There's virtually no difference in load times in our testing using the games I previously mentioned. It's built specifically to interface with the Xbox hardware and comes with all the same benefits, like running Series X and S specific games without a hitch. However, it carries a hefty price tag at $220. The other solution is to get an external USB 3.0 drive, but things can get a little tricky here. You'll be able to play backwards compatible Xbox One and previous gen games straight off the drive, but not Series X optimized games. You can still use it to store Series X games, but to play them, you'll need to transfer them to the internal drive or expansion card if you have one. This can also apply to certain Xbox One games that have received Series X optimizations, as was the case in Gears 5 and Gears Tactics. I tested this out using a Samsung T5 external SSD and a USB 3.1 cable, and in terms of moving data around and loading, the results were very, very impressive. The Outer Worlds is a 45GB game and took 2 minutes and 54 seconds to move to the external SSD. And when loading into the same save as a previous test, it only took 13 seconds, which is extremely close to the internal SSD speeds. Final Fantasy 15 is an 84GB file and took longer to transfer at 5 minutes and 50 seconds, but the load time results were great, just taking 15 seconds with the external SSD. Of course, both are Xbox One games without Series X optimizations, so the results between internal and external storage come from the fact that the games are working off of SSD speeds. But since external USB SSDs can only play Xbox One games anyway and can still do quick resume, this is a great solution for them, especially when something like the Samsung T5 is more cost effective at around $110 for 500GB and $140 for 1TB. Now you're probably wondering how the Xbox Series X has revamped the UI, but let's just say that nothing has really changed at all, at least not for now. Now what you see here is not the final interface. Again, this is all in a preview state and is subject to change somewhat by launch. The cold boot up is quite fast, as you see here.
Hang on. Xbox One UI. I don't see a big difference. I don't know about you, là.
Here, and navigating the interface is much snappier than it has been in Xbox's past. And a cold boot up of games themselves is of course faster as well. A big note on the quick resume feature though. All games that have been suspended through quick resume will retain their suspended state if you turn off the console, and even if you unplug the console too. I did encounter a few rare bugs where games like Yakuza, Dirt 5, and Gears 5 froze when trying to jump back in, thus requiring a full reboot of the game. We should expect these hiccups to be worked out in the system's final build, however. I do think it's really nice to have 5 to 6 games simultaneously suspended and be able to jump between them in a matter of 8-ish seconds without loading anything else. Even if you don't juggle that many games, this feature still benefits the handful of games you keep coming back to. And it's not like you have a choice to use it. Quick Resume is just built into the way the Series X works. I do wish there was some sort of notification that let you know when you're pushing the limits and have to close a game's suspended state though. I think we've exhausted all the conversations around the Xbox Series X's brick-like design, and we've seen it from all different angles, and we've seen it stacked against other consoles.
Mais c'est ça, tu sais,
But a big topic that has come up is...
C'est ça que je disais l'autre fois, genre qui a genre 8 jeux en marche en même temps, là? C'est ça, qui a un attention span aussi limité pour sorte de jeux de même constamment? Ah, je suis bloqué à fucking Yakuza, moi je joue à Dirt.
The top exhaust is hot as well, as is the case with most high-end computers. I haven't had any issues with overheating, but you should be mindful of giving the Series X's top exhaust enough room if you're fitting it in a tight space. On the bright side though, the system runs whisper quiet even under heavy load. Keep in mind that this is a non-final version of the system, so thermal management could theoretically change. With all that said, I'm sure someone out there has measured the exact operating time.
Ils disent c'est pas un final build, mais en même temps la console sort dans un mois. On a eu des unboxings, je sais pas. Ça m'étonnerait qu'il y ait des significant changes. Là.
Temperatures of the system, but I'm gonna hold off until we get the final retail build. So there it is, our last extensive preview of the Xbox Series X before it launches on November 10th. So far, we've seen measurable performance and graphical improvements with Series X optimized games, even if they may not blow you away. With backwards compatibility, the boosts we see now are genuinely exciting, and will continue to be as more games get proper enhancements. Of course, fast load times keep on impressing, and although there were some hiccups that occurred, I'm still a fan of Quick Resume's functionality. I've tried to highlight the aspects of next gen that I think matter most, but I can't cover every little detail all in one go. So if you have any remaining questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below or on Twitter at Michael P. Heim, and I will do my best to try and answer them in detail on our weekly show, Gen Next. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
C'était vraiment nerdy de faire ça. Look at this dude! Fait que there you have it. Je pense que c'était un preview assez complet, fait qu'on n'aura pas besoin de regarder cela de IGN. Mais si on regarde la liste des jeux pour la Xbox Series X/S qui ont été annoncés, en plus d'avoir des optimisations, let's take a look at this. Fait que les titres qui ont Smart Delivery, je vous rappelle, c'est les titres que si vous les avez déjà sur Current Gen, aka Xbox One dans ce cas-là, parce qu'on parle de Xbox, mais si vous les avez déjà sur Xbox, vous allez pouvoir avoir un upgrade nouvelle génération gratis. Fait que ça, c'est nice. Fait que Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, que ça a été confirmé hier, Bright Memory 1.0, Cuisine Royale. What is Cuisine Royale? Dead by Daylight, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Enlisted, Evergate, The Falconeer, Fortnite, Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Grounded, King Oddball, Man-Eater, Manifold Garden, NBA 2K21, Observer System Redux, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Planet Coaster, Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect Connected, The Tourist, War Thunder, Warhammer, Chaos Bane Slayer Edition, Watch Dogs Legion, WRC 9 FIA World Rally Championship, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Yes, Your Grace. Est-ce que le blog post dit davantage? Non, ça dit 30 games fully optimized on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S on launch day. By the way, free games sur Epic Game Store, on a Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, puis Kingdom New Lands qui sont disponibles gratuitement à partir de maintenant. Le nouveau Amnesia sort la semaine prochaine, fait que si vous voulez vous hyper for that. Free on Epic Game Store. On a également Costume Quest 2, puis Layers of Fear 2 la semaine prochaine, ou à partir de la semaine prochaine, qui vont être gratis. On voit une petite thématique Halloween, là. Amnesia Horror Game, Costume Quest, jeu d'Halloween, Layers of Fear Horror Game, Kingdom New Lands par exemple, je sais pas si c'est un jeu la thématique Halloween, mais quand même. On va cleanse notre body avec Destiny 2 qui arrive sur Next Gen Consoles. Free update à partir du 8 décembre. Full 4K 60 FPS on PS5 and Xbox Series X. 1080p 60 FPS on Xbox Series S, excusez. Which is bizarre parce que la Xbox Series S avait été marketée comme 1440p 60 FPS. Puis I guess que Destiny 2, man, non. 1080p, sadly. Il va y avoir un FOV slider avec Field of View. Noticeable load time improvements ainsi que cross-gen play. Et that's cool. Si vous avez des amis qui sont encore stuck on last gen or whatever, on va pouvoir jouer avec vous autres. Si on regarde, ok, ça le dit pas exactement comme how fast ça change or whatever. Ok, c'est un shitty blog post. The stars have aligned and the next generation of console gameplay begins in the launch window for Beyond Light. As we continue to improve Destiny 2, we're taking the opportunity to optimize the experience you'll have on this new hardware. The next generation optimized version of Destiny 2 will launch on December 8th, while things like faster load times and cross-generational play will be available on November 10th. We're taking some more time on the following enhancements to ensure a smooth experience when playing Destiny 2 on your new device. Donc, si je comprends bien, tu peux jouer sur ta Xbox Series X backwards compatibility avec Destiny 2. Puis à partir du 10 ou du 8 décembre, excusez. À partir du 8 décembre, tu vas avoir un next-gen upgrade, donc tout ce qui est framerate, résolution and all that. Alright. Du côté des... Ah non, on n'a pas fini. On n'a pas fini avec le gaming. Je pense qu'on avait terminé. Ça, c'est huge, ok? Je pense que c'est le biggest collaboration avec un content creator puis un jeu vidéo. Dr. Disrespect a maintenant son propre skin ainsi que sa propre map dans Rogue Company. Puis c'est pas juste une affaire botchée, là. C'est le full-on shit, là. Take a look at this shit.
If you think I'm gonna stop right there, if you think that's the end of the line, you think we're done, that we put the locks on the arena, the Champions Club, we're just getting started. The name is Dr. Disrespect.
C'est comme si Doc avait besoin de plus de cash. Je sais pas s'il pogne une cote.
This is my video game domain. Ladies and gentlemen. Damn. It was only a matter of time. I'm at the tippity top of the mountain. And I'm only halfway up. Buckle in.
Puis si je me trompe pas, c'est lui qui a design la map ou qui a design comme le frame de la map là. Puis TOS. Ben justement, Madame Zoom, c'est Jake Lucky. Qui a tweet out hier, ça m'a fait rire. Where is it? Where's his tweet? Not people doing like Doc, man. Ninja has in-game skins, Pokemon has a dance, 100 Thieves has a weapon line and skins, but Dr. Disrespect now his own personalized map and character skin in Rogue Company. The move continues for gamers. Puis là, il avait ajouté Twitch ban Dr. Disrespect but can't escape him, lol. That has to be so frustrating. Parce que là, il est dans le jeu. C'est quoi, si j'utilise le skin de Doc dans Rogue Company puis je stream Rogue Company sur Twitch, je vais me faire bannir, tu sais? Second chapter de Dark Pictures Anthology. Hello. Cristallé!
Peggy 18.
Ah ben ok, c'est linké en même temps, on est connecté mais où? IGN player, yeah, whatever.
Stories of love and hate, greed and beauty, life and death. Stories such as this one. It's very different to the last. The stakes are much greater than life and death.
I am innocent!
There are an infinite number of directions
fucking
in which one could
nerds.
travel.
Not all every little hook are willing for the truth to out.
Avec le dude dans Maze Runner, le dude avec ses sourcils, man.
Quiet. There's something kind of familiar about this place.
I'm coming back for you. Hold on.
Man, the frame rate, holy shit.
You gave me a shock. Hey, come on! You can make it!
Come and check this out.
No! Let me go. I have to save her.
I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
Dans le Batman, le monde va dire le dude de Twilight, c'est sûr.
Before I let you go. There are pictures that will, if found, show you a vision of a possible future. Use them.
I don't think I can take much more of this.
Get to the church. Run!
Run! Get inside!
Quand il tourne la photo.
Something wicked this way comes.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y avait quand il tournait la photo? J'ai manqué.
No!
That will, if found, there are pictures that will, if found, show you a vision of a possible future. Use them.
Un item, ça a l'air de la vraie merde.
Oh.
Tu trouves?
Oh. I'm sure. One thing before I let you go. Pictures that will, if found,
Ah,
show
c'est
you a
vrai! Checker le poignet! What the fuck?
There are pictures that will.
C'est impossible! What the fuck? Avec ce genre remothered, c'est quoi? C'est pire? Né là là. La fille faisait ça, pis j'étais comme, what the fuck, dude? Je suis flexible du poignet, moi, tout. Fait que ça, c'était le trailer pour Little Hope. En premier lieu, something that no one asked for, but it's coming. The Star Wars Lego Holiday Special. Streaming à partir du 17 novembre sur Disney+. Let's see. Kelly Marie Tran, Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams, Matt Lanter, Tom Kane, James Arnold Taylor, and D. Bradley Baker will all reprise their respective roles for Star Wars The Holiday Special. I know, right? 3 Star Wars veterans are joining Disney Plus upcoming Star Wars Holiday Special. Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, Kelly Marie Tran, Rose Trico, who asked for Rose again, Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, have all signed up to the voice cast of the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. An irreverent animated take on the galaxy far, far away that's coming to the streaming service next month. Daniel and Williams will reprise their Star Wars characters, which date back to George Lucas's original trilogy. Williams had such a great positive energy around the whole project, and of course, we couldn't do C-3PO without Anthony Daniels, and he brought his magic to the character, says executive producer James Wan. T'as-tu dit qu'il va y avoir genre Han Solo, mais ça va pas être genre Harrison Ford qui va voice Han Solo? Disney is genius, c'est un SEO move. Ils essayaient d'enterrer tous les liens vers Christmas Special and Google. Dans Google, yeah. Rose est underrated selon moi dans Star Wars, mon avis. Ben, elle a pas été autant. Ce personnage-là avait du potentiel avec Episode 8, malgré le fait que Episode 8 c'était trash in my book. Mais dans Episode 9, ils ont complètement ignoré que ce personnage-là existait. Ils ont fait comme si genre. Tu sais, Rian Johnson a essayé de pousser justement le character progression de Rose dans le 8, puis JJ a fait comme nah, I don't give a fuck. Rose Tico, the resistant engineer and pilot, was first introduced in 2017's The Last Jedi, will have a particularly significant role. Okay? She has a really prominent role throughout the story, contrairement à episode 9. Wolf says this story works on in an A to B way. The A story is on Kashyyyk, where Rey, Poe, Rose, and Finn are all trying to create the greatest Life Day party ever for Chewie and his family. Oh god. Then the B story is Rey going off to seek knowledge at the Jedi Temple that takes her across the movie's history. Rose's role is to really take charge. She basically saves the day in many ways. We wanted to make sure we got a lot of Kelly in, as Rose was going to be an essential part of whatever the Resistance heroes' future was going to be after episode 9, and she was a blast to work with. Other actors include the Clone Wars regulars such as Matt Lanter as Anakin Skywalker, Tom Kane as Yoda, James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and D. Bradley Baker, who has done every clone trooper you've ever heard. Well, there you go. Fait que les gros acteurs dans l'univers cinématographique ne sont pas là, mais ceux dans l'univers de cartoon, là, de Clone Wars, vont voice leurs personnages respectifs. So we're getting Mandalorian au mois d'octobre, à la fin d'octobre, puis this Lego Star Wars special quelques semaines après. 15 dodos. Alexis, il compte les dodos. Weird annoncement qui a été fait hier. Je sais pas s'il y a des fans de Dexter dans le chat. But Dexter is gonna be back on Showtime pour une limited series de 10 épisodes. I thought Dexter was done, but I guess... Reboot everything, man! Reboot everything. Deadline report comme quoi que la série va être rebootée pour automne 2021 avec Michael C. Hall, fait que le personnage principal ou l'acteur principal revient. This is just leave the show as it is. Name another Showtime series. This is why you get a reboot. Dexter is back to his blood-splattering ways after Showtime ordered a new limited series revival of the long-running serial killer drama. Michael C. Hall, who starred as the title character in the 2006 to 2013 series, is back along with showrunner Clyde Phillips. The premium cable network has handed the series a 10-part run that is set to go into production in early 2021 with a tentative premiere date of fall 2021. Will probably be delayed because of COVID. The original followed Dexter Morgan, who was a complicated and conflicted blood splatter expert for the Miami Police Department, but moonlighted as a serial killer. Gary Levine, co-president of entertainment at Showtime, said that the network was only willing to revisit the unique character if they could find a creative take that was worthy, and they have found it. Spoiler alert pour Dexter, la série originale. Moi, ce que je me souviens de Dexter, c'est que la dernière épisode, ouais, la fin était à chier, là. Ça, c'est quelque chose que je me souviens. Mais other than that... c'est le worst ending que j'ai vu d'un AAA TV show. Ah ouais? À ce point-là? Yeah, merci d'avoir tune in pour un autre stream de VIICTIIMINUTE. We'll be back tomorrow avec du Mortal Kombat ainsi qu'un recap du Night City Wire que je pense qu'il vient de finir il y a pas long ou il est still en cours. Fait que yeah. Va-tu taper leur appel de qualité prise 2? Ils m'ont même pas appelé hein, cette fois-ci. De tout le stream, 0 appel. I don't know. There may be a conspiracy in all this. Je vous le dis. Best Buy. What the fuck you doing? Fait que je vous rappelle que la VIICTIIMINUTE est disponible en version audio sur Spotify, Apple Podcasts ainsi que Google Podcasts. J'ai recordé justement le voice-over pour l'annonce que je vais faire de la VIICTIIMINUTE. Reste juste à shot the actual commercial que je vais sûrement faire en fin de semaine. Puis on est également disponible en version vidéo, fait que si vous voulez avoir les trailers and all that, parce que écouter un trailer en podcast audio, c'est pas l'idéal. Fait qu'il y a la version vidéo pour ça. Puis également, maintenant, je suis sur TikTok, man. Je suis rendu que je fais des TikTok où est-ce que je poste les grandes lignes dans l'actualité. Hier, j'ai posté un TikTok sur les iPhones. Fait que les 4 variantes de iPhone. Yeah. Follow that shit. TikTok famous. Not yet, mais j'approche des 10K likes sur mon TikTok page. Fait que si vous n'avez pas encore liké mes TikTok, get on that. We'll hit that 10K soon. Alright? Sur ce, Best Buy attendre la livraison de brick. Have a nice day, y'all! Enjoy your day. Moi, je m'en vais conduire 45 minutes pour aller remplacer mon Nest Lavers. Hey, mon cher CMS, si tu veux check out le Linktree, tous mes réseaux sociaux sont droppés là. Également, on a oublié la question de la semaine, encore une fois. Fuck me. On le fera demain. On fera la question de la semaine demain. I got other fish to fry, alright? Bonne journée. Rappelez-moi les demain, puis on va le faire. Alright? Là, faut que j'aille handle Best Buy. Fucking Best Buy, man. Peace out. Take care. Je vous aime. Bye. Fait qu'on va passer à autre chose. Du genre de... Fucking... We ain't getting the UI, guys. We're not getting the UI. C'était pas un tease pour annoncer le UI. C'est juste un concours. God, yes.